Um, Caravan Master Odima. The Caravan Master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache excuse me, and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the Caravan Master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day.
Oh?
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
That will kill me.
I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Adima looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sperfel carries an old sun-bleached bow. That guy? Bow? He nods. Blah blah blah, he nods in your direction. Sparfel nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Where would I find these berries? What are those ruins? Is it dangerous out here? What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground? So where can I find the
They
berries?
grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
So what are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with
What's a
Glonfoth
knick-knack?
and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
Okay.
Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
He adds with a wink. Your character's attributes, skills, class, sex. Okay. Thank you. Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous?
Not if you hurry about your business.
Okay.
And not if the weather holds up.
There's a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. Weather, okay. What do you mean, weather?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a Beowick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Nice. What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just
Adra?
grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Cool. I'll go about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone
See
with
about
you.
those berries.
I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot.
The
Not
bow
like
guy?
most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
See, he scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
Geo.
No promises.
Ooh.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Tee.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
Fatima chuckles and shakes his head. He looks at you. He casts a sidelong glance at her. Yeah.
Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Bewick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Cool.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Jesus, yeah, like a Texas accent. World of Eora. Cool, thank you. 5 edition companions. She's a fighter. Yeah, so pretty much like me. Yeah.
What you need?
Okay.
Yeah.
Press the number. Okay. Select all of them like this. Cool. Yeah. Action bar. Right, so we have second wind. Okay.
What you need?
We have the same thing. I
What
guess
you
I
need?
chose wisely. Sure. Cool. Let's go. So that's the guy we just talked about too. Caravaneer. How do I do wooden clothing? So it's crap. Oh, but it's light armor, so as in recovery speed 0%, so it's you move faster, but doesn't defend you. What is this? Oops! Oh, I just picked everything. Or she did. Lockpicks. I want lockpicks. And then stash, yeah. Oops. Sure. How about pet? How do I, yes. Right. Didn't change anything. I'll take it. The Cohen's pledge. To arrest. Okay. Okay. Sure. Stash. Yeah, stash. I don't know whether it has any like weight limit, but I remember when I played this, I just kept putting stuff in there. Cows. Oh no, horses. What's that? Orland's Cradle. Stash. Okay. Should probably go back to the camp and talk to other people. I think there's a trader there. And I can sell my armor, I guess. The one I just picked up. Caravaneer. Oh wait, I have to keep pressing right, but most people are neutral. Come on, Dima. Many beauty along the way. Merchant Theodan. Cool.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
What's a sundry? You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road. Looks clean-shaved here.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Yeah, sure, but first of all, who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Right. We might as well. Nice. Yeah, with an outlook like that, I'm sure you'll do well. I now have 1 rank in a disposition reputation. Okay. Disposition is good or bad. Okay. Well, I'm not a priest, so we'll see, I suppose. I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Why'd you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Rhaed Saris? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
Cool. He shrugs. Deerwood is a former 8-tier colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Red Siren's work ethic, they always struck me as a little fanatical. Why is some of his dialogue voiced over and then some is not? Sounds reasonable. Seems like you got the short end of the stick. I don't see it that way. Here then begins to restacking the crates in his wagon. My brothers and I are all working together for the sake of the family enterprise. Okay. Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Rhaed Saris and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the others, scattered Garanniers. Okay, yeah, let's see what you got. Ooh, crossbow. Copper. Oh no. Okay. Well, I want to sell my thing. 75. Will I get 75? Retrain character. Okay, that's cool. That's decent. Oh yeah, the ingredients. Not gonna sell those. Okay, so weapons. I have a spear. Can I check my... No. Anyway. Quarterstaff, dagger, rapier. Yeah, it's very expensive. I don't really need anything, I don't think. Cool, thank you. Let me just check my weapons. So I have a spear, one-handed, 1319 pierce, Accurate. That's good. Then I have a long shield or a large shield. Cool. And then you have an axe. Okay. Crush and slash. Sounds good. I prefer pierce rather than slash. Open the map. Guess just now over there. Okay. Now. Okay. Cool. Hey.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Cool. Cool. Ruins.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Okay. Ooh. Cool. Right, so I'll send you to attack. 2 per encounter. Then this is 1 per encounter, 2 per encounter. Okay. Guess just attack, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, fight. Deflection, fortitude, reflex, and will. Oh wait, I can scroll down a bit more that. Cool. This is boring. Shh. Most enemies are strong. Okay. Fight. When the party member takes damage, I'll start losing runes and health. Okay. I guess that's health. Knocked out. Okay. Crafting, maybe? I guess just for selling. Take everything.
Right.
Oh, hey, the berries.
This is
I
it.
guess. Let's receive quests, your journal updates. Cool. Explorer. Odima says you had some interesting travels. Alright, yeah, you can choose like your backstory. I lived out on a frontier for a time. Yeah? How is it you happen to come here? It was too quiet alive. I was looking for something more. Hazard of the lifestyle, I suppose. You had to expect it was a possibility, no matter how much you didn't want it to be that way. Kaliska breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer makes the girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? Well, I hadn't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. Exactly. So you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way? Oh, wow. This sounds more fitting, just looking for some adventure. You know, yeah, sure, you're a girl, I'll flirt with you. I don't want to scare you, but the way of some of these rural types look, you might want to consider that. Lots of sideways teeth and hair sprouting from unexpected places. You seem cool. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odima will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Wait, tell me about yourself. I got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. That's where I'm from, I think, right? I've got a brother in Rawatai and another in Adir. My sister is Gilded Whale. She's the only real homebody. Why are you here? Kaliska sighed unevenly. Her eyes searched the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide and Ixamitl, but I'll do anything for her. Well, she's a much better woman than me, so I'm here and we'll see. Odima, Odima I worked with before. Odima I worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. What can you tell me about Deerwood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Deer Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Well, alright, let's get back to the camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfell is getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Cool.